Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Porcelain Larkin. Welcome back to my beauty channel, Bad Bitch Fraud Beauty Reviews. Today I am here with another story time. So today my story time is going to be about what really happened to me in New York City. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to try to go over this as quickly as I can. So right before I left, everything kind of seemed to be winding down. I feel like I had deadlines and all kinds of things was happening. I actually had work scheduled for the time that I was going to New York. So as you know, every year I go to New York for Cosmos Fearless Fun Weekend, but this particular year they weren't having it. So I also have been finishing up my fashion merchandising major at my college out here. So once this lash is going to be bothering me, I can already tell. Okay. So at this point, I had finished up everything for my fashion merchandising, and I was looking for a school to transfer to so that I could continue my education to receive my BA. So at this time, I scheduled a lot of appointments and I had scheduled a lot of events and I had a lot of things to do while I was in New York. So before I had left, I had kind of gotten a little sick. I kept having kind of an allergy attack and just things were breaking out for me and stuff like that. So right before I left, I was supposed to go to Light the Night Walk, which is an annual thing that I go to every year. Well, a yearly thing that I go to. And it's basically like a celebration and a fundraiser for people who have survived cancer, are currently dealing with cancer, and also people who have passed on from cancer. So this was a really big night for me, but I had done so much running around that day that by the time it had came time for me to get dressed and go to the night walk, I was already pooped, and like I said, I had an allergic reaction. I don't know if it was from the new foundation that I bought, but I don't think that it was from the foundation because I actually am still wearing that foundation. Well, I had to trade it when I got to New York for a different color, but I'm actually still using that foundation and it hasn't ever broken me out again. So I don't think that it was from the foundation, but I'm really not sure why did I break out right before I was supposed to go to the night or right before I was supposed to get on a plane and go to New York. So basically, I was exhausted, but I got all of my things packed. I almost missed my super shuttle, but my super shuttle got me to the airport, and then I had to wait, and then I flew. The only thing was the flight was really stupid because one of the stewardess was really young and she just talked the whole time. So it was supposed to be a peaceful flight, where I could sleep. And once I got to New York, I would be up and vibrant and ready to go because I had a little bit of rest on the plane. But the stewardess talked the whole freaking time. So basically, when I got to New York, I was still exhausted because I never had gotten any sleep on the plane. So once I made it to New York, I felt a lot better because I had made it out there. But then I got in the super shuttle to go from the airport to the hotel, and there was these creepy guys um in the super shuttle, and they basically were talking really disgusting. I think they were looking for escorts, and they were talking about paying girls for the way they want their sex and all these things, and I was fucking disgusted the whole time on my way to my hotel. And when I got to my hotel, I actually called my mom and I cried my freaking eyes out. I cried so hard because I just felt so unsafe. I felt violated. And I'm not an escort, I'm not a prostitute, so it really hurt my feelings to have to hear them talking like that. I was really disgusted. So at the time, oh, so then I get my hotel room information, but my hotel room is not ready yet. And it was a big weekend too. It was, I want to say it was, I don't remember what holiday. Oh, President's Day. Was it President's Day? I don't remember what holiday it was, but it was a holiday that Monday or whatever. And so my hotel room wasn't ready. The hotel was super packed. There was hella people in the lobby and everything. So I basically left my stuff and then I went to go get my nails done because that was every when I go to New York, I like getting my nails done because the nail shops are really different than the ones that are out here. I have found similar ones out here, but I like the nail shops out there. So basically I went to the nail shop. So I had a horrible experience at the nail shop. The nail shop itself actually was really awesome. Bomb.com, super exclusive, just great. But the thing was, the first lady that approached me, I told her all I want is a pedicure. You probably heard this story a million times from a million beauty gurus on YouTube, and all I wanted was a full set. She wasn't having it. So she basically tried to give me like some type of silk wrap. Then when I got my nails done, I didn't mind paying a little extra for my nails, the type of nails that I wanted. Watch my vlog and you'll see all of this. So anyways, I had a horrible experience at the nail shop. Then okay, so this is where the juicy part gets started. So finally I get my hotel room or whatever. I go get food and then I go to my hotel room. And I didn't feel good. Like I felt horrible the first night that I got to New York. So I basically stayed in that night. That night I was supposed to get all dressed up. I had brought a fancy dress out there and I was supposed to take a limo ride to this strip club. But what ended up happening was I felt so sick that I ended up not going. So basically, that was the end of that. So the next day was Friday. So Friday, I got up early in the morning and I went shopping. I went to go look for tourist attractions and touristy things to do, and everything was fine. So I basically spent the next 2 or 3 days just kind of like touring and looking for things. And I think that Friday I had been in search of a charger because my tablet was dying and all these things. So so that's like what I spent the day doing, just touring, taking pictures, talking to people, meeting people. So I had met this guy from the Bronx, and oh, he was oh so delicious. Talk about eye candy, like he was so cute. So he was kind of like a little bit darker than my complexion, and he had braids and Tims, and he was the like typical New York swag with the language, and he was popping. So I had came across him or whatever. He tried to sell me a CD. I think I saw him twice, and the second time was when he decided to talk to me. So as we're talking, he's like he could tell that I wasn't from out there, so we're going back and forth or whatever, just exchanging lingo and dialogue or whatever. And so he basically wants to kick it, and the girl that's standing with him, she just hands him back his phone, and he gets my number or whatever. So I'm like, yeah, that'd be cool. Like we should kick it. He's like, we should kick it during the week or whatever. And we're like, you could take me to get pizza, and I want to go get hookah and blah 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 blah. So it was cool. He had my number with that. So the next day was Saturday. So after all of that, pretty much I didn't enjoy the nightlife all like that. I had went to the same karaoke bar that I had went to last time, Tonics, because that's just a place to be, girl. If you want to hang out in T- Times Square, you want to hang out at Tonics, like if you're cool like that. So and it was next door to a strip club. So basically, I went to Tonics that night, and then that was that. I came back to my hotel room, and I kind of stayed there or whatever. Oh, I don't. I thought my phone was ringing. Um. So basically, after that or whatever, the next day I go back out. So I think I had a couple of things to do. Like I had a art event to go to. It was like art to something, but it has something to do with tattoos and art. And then I had a couple of things lined up. I had like a I'm trying to think what was the party called, and I was supposed to wear pink or something. I had a couple things to do, but because like I wasn't feeling all that well, I ended up not going out as much as I was supposed to. And I remember missing like a couple of events that I was supposed to do or supposed to go to. Like I know I had like some a little job interview for like an online job. Um I had missed the pink party. I missed the art party because I just wasn't feeling well and I couldn't travel the way I wanted to because it was so cold and I already wasn't feeling great. So the next day I had went out to do whatever I was going to go do, and I had met another guy. So this other guy, let's just call him Money. Um that's a play on the name that he told me his name was. And have you guys ever read the book Coldest Winter Ever? There's this guy that Winter describes. I think his name is either Midnight or his name is Black, and he worked for like Mr. Santiago or something like her father. And she ended up like falling for him or whatever really hard. I think that was the way she described him was like kind of how this guy was. He was like thin, really, really brown, dark skin, chocolate. He was handsome. He was just like he was cool. I had to give it up. But he was at my neck. Like when he see me, he was just like whoa, 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 whatever. Oh, are you cute? I need to take you out. Where you from? I know you're not from out here. I could tell by your swag and da 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 da. And I'm just looking at him like, um, hmm, I don't know, cause I already didn't gave my number to one person, so I'm like, damn, I ain't trying to fucking date the whole strip. Like, come on, guys. But anyway, so basically, he ended up asking me for my number, and he wanted to hang out that night, like right then and there. Like he was like, what time can I pick you up? And I just need to go get my truck, and I'm just like, call me, because I ain't going out tonight. Like so, yeah, that was that or whatever. Um, I meet him. I'm like, no, I'm not going out tonight. Sorry. I think he wants to take me to the comedy show or something like that. That was like really close by my hotel, and I had already went to the comedy show like the year before, but it didn't matter. I could have went again. But I think like the way he approached me, it made me feel like typical New York guy. And so it kind of like made me nervous a little bit, like, whoa, let me not get myself into something that I'm just clearly not that ready for. So, that night, that Saturday night, I ended up talking to the first guy from the Bronx on the phone, and he was super cool. He had a baby on the way and all this other stuff, and he seemed like he had kind of a already set life, and I was just like, gosh, I don't want to come in the picture kicking it with this guy that already has like a girl you stay with, y'all live together and whatever. I don't know if it's all that cool that we kick it like that. So I didn't really press the issue of kicking it with him. I just mostly was like, just tell me where the hookah spots is, or like if you want to go have hookah, we could all go together or whatever. But this dude sent me like naked pictures and all this other stuff, and he was like, send him pictures, and I was just like, I don't send nudes. Like, I'm sorry, I'm kind of a prude that way. Like, especially seeing the fact that I don't know you. I'm in this big city and I'm not from around here. Like, I'm not sending you any nudes. You're cute and all, but I don't really know what's up. So I wasn't trying to give it up. And so that kind of like deaded that situation a little bit. So when the dude Money called me, it was more of a conversation, like we were getting to know each other. Like it was how I thought that Bronx was gonna be, but yeah, it was different. So come to find out, Mr. Money actually has been around where I'm from. And come to find out, he was from Philly, and he rode bikes. He was into bikes and four wheelers. And so, yeah, he was like, yeah, I pretty much travel and I be everywhere. I've been out where you're from before, and I've kicked it out there before, and I'm with that bike life, I'm with that movement, blah 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 blah. And just telling me about how he give it up and how he gets down and da 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 da. Then he was like, yeah, I met crazy girls from California before, and I've kicked it with crazy girls from California, and they be having slick mouths. You not like that, are you? Like, do you got a slick mouth and da 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 da? And I'm like, when it's needed, like I don't go around talking crazy to people because that's not how you get anything that you want in this world. But yeah, I kind of talk crazy. Then he happens to mention who he was talking to from out here. And I'm just like, that I done heard too many stories about this girl. So now at this point, my ear is to the phone like, you said what? You know who? Ugh. You know them? Like, okay. So the way he talking about the girl is real greasy. And this girl is a little bit psycho. So at this point I'm just like, oh my God. So then he talking about this one neighborhood and he like, yes, this Zool from out here and blah 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 and he's from out there and he's from da 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 da. Well, da 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 is not where I blah, 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 go. So I don't hang out over there. I don't like it over there. It's only one way in there and one way out. And it's basically the projects, and I don't hang out over there. And not saying that it's anything. If you're from the projects and you're watching this, trust me, honey, I'm probably definitely not talking about you. I'm just talking about this projects in particular. I've had issues with girls from over there before, and I don't deal with none of that. Anything they got to offer, I don't deal with. But that's actually another story time that I probably will tell next time. But so when he gets some mention in this project, and he gets to mentioning that he got a friend from out there, and he keep asking me about him, like, you should know him, you should know him, and he just got out of jail or something like that. And I'm like, I don't fucking know everybody in the Bay Area. Like, I don't know who you're talking about. Like, I'm sorry. He was like, if you meet him, you'll know him. If you meet him, you'll know him. And I'm like, now he's annoying me, and the situation is starting to get a little weird or whatever. So, because once he mentioned those projects, everything just, it was like lights out. Like, I was ready for bed. I was tired. I was ready to go to sleep. Girl, I ain't go to sleep for like 3 more hours, but I was ready to get the fuck up off the phone. And like, before he said that, he was trying to come kick it with me before he mentioned this girl's name. And I was like, kind of on board. I'm like, yeah, let's go have drinks or whatever. He was like, yeah, let me just get my truck and I want to freshen up and blah blah blah. I've been out all day and da 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 da. But once he said that girl's name, and then once he mentioned those projects out here, that's a no-no. So I was just like, oh, I'm tired. I'm sleepy. It's time to go to bed or whatever. Like, I was over the conversation. So basically I ended up not talking to him for the rest of the night or whatever. So the next day is Sunday. Sunday, after that conversation, I decided not to go out because where my hotel was and where those guys hung out, there was no um, going to do recreational things or going to do touristy things without walking past these guys. So that really pissed me off because I was like, usually I pick the right hotel where it's out of like everybody's lane. I don't run into people and stuff like that. So I was really pissed off. It was kind of like the guys were hanging out outside of the hotel where I was, and I didn't fucking like that shit. So the next day I didn't go out. I just stayed in. I ordered in, and yeah, I just stayed in. So the next day I had a really important meeting in the morning, which I made on time, and I also was going to the Knicks game. So I got up that morning. I was ready, energized. I felt great. I didn't feel bad. I got on my cute outfit and I made it to my meeting on time. And I even caught the subway. I caught the subway by myself. I followed directions and I caught the subway. If you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. So I caught the subway. So I get back to the hotel and I go straight to the club, the strip club, which is very close, next door to Tonics. And I talked to the owner about possibly getting a job there. So when I come back for school this fall, 2017, I will have me a job dancing there because the stuff is so expensive out there. I knew that I was gonna need some type of job. And when I go back to New York, I'm like my first couple of months there, I'm not trying to work. I'm trying to have fun because I just met so many people and there was so many opportunities and so many things to do. Like when I first get there, I want to spend most of my time socializing so I can make a name for myself first, and then I want to like get to work. But most of all, when I get there, I want to build my brand and make myself known so that I can have something to fall back on, and have like a following and have like people who know who I am. So I went there. The guy was like, yeah, it's cool. Why don't you come back tomorrow around a certain time, and you can hang out and like kind of get to know things. I'll give you a tour and blah 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 blah. So I left with a big smile on my face, and guess who I ran into? Did y'all hear that? Well, anyways, I ran into this guy Money. So I was just standing there looking at him like, and he got this big old grin on his face, and he like, yeah, what happened last night on the phone, and blah 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 blah. And I'm just standing there like really over it. Like when a bitch says she's over that shit, I was over it. So I'm over the whole situation, and he basically it's like, oh, remember that dude that I was telling you about from whatever, whatever. I'm kind of trying to ignore him and like walk past him and go get my food and then go back to my hotel so I can get ready for the game. And he's forcing me at this point to know who he's talking about, who's from the Bay Area, right? So he's like, oh, that dude I was telling you about, that dude I was telling you about, yeah, he's standing over there or whatever. So I don't look over there because I don't even give a fuck what he talking about at this point. Like I said, when he mentioned that girl's name and he mentioned those projects, I was done with that ass. So when he's like, oh yeah yeah yeah, so he's trying to get the attention. So the guy from the Bay Area, he says, calls my name, and he's like, oh, I know you're not finna act like that. So I look over and I seen that it was a guy that I've known since I was a little girl. So I'm just like, oh wow, long time no see. Like that's so weird that I would see you all the way out here in New York City and I barely see you anywhere in California. Like red lights should have flashed, motherfucking camera flash, whistles, warning signs should have went off in my head, but instead none of that went off. So I'm like being cordial and being nice or whatever. So he walks over to me, so we get to talking, and I guess he had just got out of jail or whatever, and he was paroling in New York. What the fuck? Like I don't know. It ain't even none of my business. I don't even if I don't get that part of the story all the way right, it doesn't matter because you will never catch me talking to this guy again. Let me finish the story and then you'll understand why. So, um, yeah, so he wants my number or whatever. So I just give him my number because at this point I'm just like trying to get my food, trying to hurry the fuck up and go to the game. So he's like, yeah, if you want to smoke later, like I know you smoke weed, right? If you want to smoke later, hit me up and blah 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 blah. How did they just know I smoke weed like that? But anyways, so I went to get my food. So I go get dressed, go to the game, make it to the game on time, have a fucking blast at the game. It was my first time going to the Knicks game. Guess who was there? Floyd Mayweather was there shining. But yes, it was the Mavs against the Knicks. The Knicks against the Mavs. Well, it was the Mavs versus the Knicks. And I was so happy because they played so good. The game was super exciting. And I had a great time. So I actually sat next to these two guys. I think they were like upcoming basketball players. And they were talking about how we were having like a good conversation. And they were telling me like what were good places to go have hookah or whatever. But they were too far from my hotel. So basically I go back to my hotel room. As I'm going back to my hotel room, me and the guy start texting, the guy from the Bay Area. So we start texting or whatever. He like, yeah, if you want to smoke, whatever, we can kick it. I'll just come to where you at. He said that he was staying at the hotel across from my hotel. So basically, I I was like, that's really convenient. Like, I want to smoke anyway. The next day, I didn't have anything on my agenda to do. So, I thought that was awesome. Like, let's smoke. Let's kick it. I really want hookah. If we can find, like, a hookah spot and go have a drink or something, a beer maybe, some shots, that would be awesome. That would be the perfect ending for tonight. Not you come back to my room or any shit like that. Like, just let's go out, have a drink and stuff, and catch up on old times. Fine, whatever. He's from the Bay. I'm thinking that everything is cool. I'm actually going to make a part 2 to this video. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you watch part two of this story. Okay? Cause seriously, it gets weird. Okay? Thanks for tuning in. This is your girl Porcelain Larkin. I'm out. Deuces.